What's up, guys? This is Chris from Chewin The Rag. I just want to thank you for checking this episode out. It was a little bit different than the ones you probably have heard recently. He didn't have a guest lined up, something fell through. He'll be on. But in the meantime, I just wanted to thank you guys for checking out the solo episode and just drop a couple shout outs. First, Serenity Landscaping Services. It is, spring has sprung. First day of spring's here. It was like 50 degrees out today, so all that stuff you're pushing aside, it might be time to get scheduled, some spring cleanings, big projects, anything that you might have. So if you want to give them a call at 518-331-0774. Again, that's Serenity Landscaping Services at 518-331-0774, and let them know that Chris from Chewin The Rag sent you. I also want to give a shout out to Dark Horse 6, my buddy Chris. He'll be on the podcast next week. He shouted me out on his stream, so I'm going to bring him in. He's a soldier, firefighter, and a streamer sponsored by Vets United. So on next week's episode, I'll have him on here and we'll tell stories. I've known him since like middle school. I talk about it a little bit on this episode, so I'm prefacing everything. So I'm really looking forward to that. And if you are into streaming and watching video games and watching people play video games, be sure to check my channel out, Pinchworm Gaming, on YouTube. I believe it's on Twitch as well, but I don't really use it. If you go to ChewinTheRag.com, all my links are on there, and that should be one of them that's on there. I mostly stream Madden, but I'm getting into COD, Apex, the new season of Fortnite. I've been playing that a little bit, so I'll probably stream that soon. So Pinchworm Gaming on YouTube. And again, I really appreciate you guys checking this one out. It was a lot of fun. I mean, drags a little bit because I'm by myself, but it was a lot of fun, and I was able to answer fan questions or listener questions rather, which I really enjoyed doing, and I'm glad a few got sent my way. So appreciate it. We're here, baby. We made it another week. I'm actually excited for this episode. We actually got some questions in from fans, which are listeners. I ain't calling you guys fans. I'm sorry. You guys are mostly friends of mine, but listeners, I should say, friends of mine. We were at a point with Dangerously Average Dudes where we were getting questions every episode, and that's what I want to get, with this here, since it's slowing down over there. Just, I don't want to abandon something that I felt like everybody was kind of having fun with. That was one of the things that like kept people in, was just hearing, because most of the questions were ridiculous and most of the answers were probably more ridiculous than the questions, but people were really looking forward to that. And I feel like that's something that I was just enjoying doing it. I like answering funny questions. I like answering serious questions. So getting back to a point where we're doing that again, that's going to be a lot of fun. And it starts with this episode. So, like I said in the intro, I was planning on having somebody on here. It fell through. So why not just get into it, just one on one here, and then we'll be back to regular guest episodes starting next week with Chris of Dark Horse 6, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you check that one out. I've known Chris since middle school, but we weren't really friends in school. We kind of became friends more after. So I think it'll be interesting to see how he views that and how I view it, because it's just different perspectives. Everything's different perspectives, especially when it comes to school and how people view school and how some people view it as somewhere. I was all about social. Like for school, dude, that was just somewhere for me to hang out. I didn't give a damn about like schoolwork or anything like that. If I was going to I was going to school. If I was going to school, it was for that specifically. The education part of school was never a concern for me, and that kind of turned people off from me. I always got along with everybody, but like at the same time, it was like, all right, well, I know if I'm with that dude, I ain't getting any work done because this dude is just gonna talk to me. He's got his own thing going on over there, and that's just what it was with me. So it'll be interesting to have him come on here and see if that's how he perceived me, because that's how I perceive myself. Like I literally view myself as somebody like that. If I was somebody who was focused on school and I met somebody like me, I'm telling you right now, I probably wouldn't have hung around me. I'd be like, nah, dude, you're bad news. You're a good enough person, but I'm trying to get shit done, and you are just not about that right now. So I'm excited to have him on, and just I'm gonna bring that up 100% because it's just something that interests me. I had Mark on here who I've known since high school, and he was a lot like me. He was just social and everything else, so we clicked. But I know there's definitely people that I click with now that I would not have clicked with back then. So I'm looking forward to that. We also, I've also been doing this thing called morning pages. So I'm excited to talk about this. On the last episode with Mello, I brought up how somebody I knew through comedy writes every day. He always posts on his story, tags it, morning pages, whatever, whatever. He put up a post last week and it was just his writing, but he's put morning pages challenges. Who wants to do it? I was like, challenges sounds interesting. What is this? So I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. What's up? And he said, oh, really? And he explained it to me. So I'm on my second day. What it is you want to write 3 pages a day. You have to put the date at the top, take a picture of that date. So it's like accountability thing. I take a picture of the date, I post it on Instagram, I tag him, I hashtag morning pages challenges or morning pages challenge. And I got day one, I did 4 pages. Day two, which is today, I wrote 3 pages. And it's kind of cool. It's like, I guess therapeutic is a word somebody might use. Um, I don't really use it. I'm not like one of those, like, I'm journaling. Like, I'm not one of those by any means, but it is kind of cool because it helps me just think. So in the morning, I have my coffee, whatever it might be. But like when I get to work, my brain is just focused on like tasks, just like my mental checklist of things that I got to do at this fucking building every day. With the morning pages, I got my coffee in me. I'm just writing mostly like stuff that happened. So on Monday, I wrote, about like, oh, what I did this weekend. I got my son as 2 goldfish. Why did we do that? What did that mean? Like what I'm not gonna get into all that, but like it was just like just jotting things down and you don't realize like it kind of just like jump starts you. You're like, okay, cool. I got my thoughts out. I'm in a fucking warehouse. I don't talk to anybody about my thoughts for whatever 6 to 8 hours a day. I'm just back there freezing my ass off by myself. So it's kind of cool to just take 15 minutes, write a little bit, and then it's like, all right, cool. I got that out of my system, off my chest. If there's something that has to get off my chest, or just general ideas. So I'm pretty excited about that. What it is the 3 pages a day for 30 days. So I'm on day two. This is going to carry well over into April and then hopefully carries over from there. Even if I don't do the 3 pages, which really isn't a lot, like I said, it's like 10, 15 minutes. If you already have something planned out, you can write 3 pages in fucking 8 minutes. It doesn't have to be like legible. Nobody else has to read it. It's just for you. So as long as you know what you're writing and you can put pen to paper, and go, I like it a lot. I'm actually enjoying it. Um, Today I mostly wrote about The Last of Us, actually, which is kind of funny. It was mostly about being wrong and admitting you're wrong. And it sounds stupid, but The Last of Us game, when it came out, I played it and I didn't like the ending of it. I was like, this is fucking stupid. I worked this whole fucking time to get this stupid little girl to this stupid little fucking place. And I finally get there and it's just murk everybody. Spoiler alert, play the game. It's been out long enough. I don't know what to tell you. And I would argue with Jake. We would argue this. He's like, "Oh, it's good. It's a story about change and blah." And I would just stick to my guns on it. And then now the show is out. I haven't finished it. I don't know how it ends, so I'm strictly speaking on the end of the game. But with the show, you get to see them humanized. You're seeing an actor and an actress and bonding, and you're looking at them as people now. With the game, you're not really. Well, you're probably supposed to, but I'm not. Fuck that. With the game, I'm looking at it as like me, like this is my task. I got to do this shit. So it's different when they become humanized and you get to kind of see their bond play out on screen, which, like I said, you're probably supposed to do that with games. I just, I don't do that. It's all about me when I'm in that shit. So it was interesting how quickly I probably changed my mind after I just finished episode 4. My wife and I just finished episode 4. Um, when they're on like the sleeping bag in the building, and I'm not gonna spoil anything, but and like they share like a laugh, and then it's like, okay, you can kind of see that bond developing that other people who played the game probably felt, so they thought the ending was justified. So now I'm gonna backpedal the thought that I've had since 2000 whatever the fuck teen, and in 2023 I'm going to admit that the ending of The Last of Us was not as bad as I thought. It's still not, it's not great. I don't care, but Joel was probably right in the end of the game. Again, the game. I'm not done with the show yet. I don't know the direction it's going to go. They've kind of kept it true to script for the game, so I have a guess, but my wife probably already knows. She fucking, dude, whenever I start a show with my wife, I know that she knows the ending already because she's like, I don't, she just doesn't care about spoilers, or she spoils it before somebody else can, but she's like, she'll pull her phone out and be like, how does such and such end? And she's like, did you know that? I'm like, how would I know it? I've avoided spoilers. Oh, I look, God damn it, dude. Like, I can't do that. It's insane to me that you would like purposely spoil something for yourself. That's not something that I'm willing to do. If things will get spoiled, but like if I'm invested, if I'm not invested, that's one thing, because I'll just be like, I'm not gonna pick this back up, so I can just look at how it ends. Um, Peaky Blinders was kind of, I didn't look it up, but like I'm really not invested in it. I don't know if it's just because like the voices, the accents, like it's really good, but like I almost fall asleep every time. So like it's a show that if that got spoiled for me, I'd be like, I don't really care because the show itself was good, but like for me personally, I'm not into it the way I was into a Breaking Bad or The Last of Us. All as right now is pretty good. Um, The Wire, which you can't really spoil The Wire, you can, but it's the fucking Wire. Who gives a shit? But like shows like that where I'm a little bit more invested, Peaky Blinders just didn't. And I'm just using that as an example because that's one that I would be fine with spoiling. There's certain things that I'd rather you don't spoil for me. Other big things, I don't give a shit. My wife, she'll fucking just go in and spoil shit for herself. She's just does not care. I'm like, dude, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how anybody could go in to a show knowing exactly how it ends or twists and turn and shit like that. And maybe she doesn't. Maybe she doesn't know every twist and turn, but if I know the end of something, they fuck, who did it? Top Boy, Top Boy. The way season 2, I think season 3. I don't remember what season it ends, but like the way that ends, that was spoiled for me. So like every time these two characters met up, I was like, fuck, it's gonna happen right here. Fuck, it's gonna happen right here. And then sure enough, once everything looks like it's going good, there's like that knock on the door, I think it is, and he comes in, and it's like, fuck, fuck me. And you know, right there, because by that time, everything's going too good. I was like, all right, that's where it ends. And sure enough, bang, dead. I don't know. If you haven't watched Top Boy, man dies. Men dem dies. I don't know what to tell you, dude. The uh the other thing with writing, it was pretty cool. Like I mentioned Jake. The thing with writing is you kind of realize, how do I put this? So Jake and I met him in 7th grade, and like from like well, actually, I met him in 6th grade. We didn't like each other. He was a fucking weird dude, and I was one of those cool, like I said, like super sociable. Just I was too cool for any of that shit. He was like the super nerdy kid. There was a table of those fucking guys. I just didn't like him. And then 7th grade, I was like, I forget how it happened. But it was like, oh, this guy's actually cool. And like from seventh grade on, just inseparable. You literally you wouldn't associate Chris without Jake or Jake without Chris. Like if you called one of us and it wasn't during school, really, if you called him, I didn't have a fucking cell phone. He had a cell phone. But if you were reaching out to him, you probably could have got a hold of me. We were literally just at the fucking hip. Best man at my wedding. And then we just stopped talking. I mentioned this with Seto, with Mark, episode one. He and I just we didn't have a falling out, didn't have an argument, just kind of separated. I had, we had my son. He went his way, whatever it was. And then we recently got back in touch. And I think I apologized. I was like, yo, if you don't want to talk, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, dude, shut up. Like, we're good. We're dudes. It's fine. Not a big deal. Um, all that awkward shit, get it out of the way. Boom, we're back like we never left. And when writing, because he came up when I wrote, I mentioned him by name. It makes you think like how important, and this is more of a callback to Mello, how important it is for men to have men. Uh, Not even just like a father figure. I'm not even referring to it as that, but like just having your boys, because you don't really. I mean, I have my handful of like guys I talk to every day, but they're not my boys. I got like my cousin, that's my boy. Zach, that's my boy. Jake, that's my boy. Everybody else is kind of just like we're internet friends. You know what I'm saying? And there's a couple. Lenny's my boy. There's a couple that I'm missing, but like my core group that I talk to every day aren't necessarily my boys. We mostly talk about like sports and bullshit, and we're like in the PlayStation party together. We're not going to grab lunch. We're not gonna go get food. We're not gonna go catch a fucking movie. We're not having a game night. We're not doing any of that. That's what I'm referring to. It. If you guys are listening to this, and Dan, you might because your ass is sending me questions. You know I'm right. Don't you dare take offense to this, you fuck. You know damn well you're not coming out and meeting up with me, and I'm not coming out and meeting up with you. But at 9 p.m., if I got a Madden stream, you're on my mutt team. So that's actually probably more important. You understand me? You are vital to me. But having your core group, your boys, like I get genuinely, I know if Jake sends me a text, it's gonna be something. I don't know what it'll be. The dude will send me, how he's feeling, how work's going, or he's gonna send me today. He sent me a video from 2016. I just posted something on his Facebook wall. It was just me with a thing of honey, just pouring it in my mouth like a fucking like one of those weird dudes at sake, just mouth wide open. Just squirting honey into my mouth, silent, didn't say anything, shirtless. And then the caption was just like, sending this to you because you're as sweet as this honey. And I was like, that's the shit I missed with this fucking guy. I didn't miss like I missed the goofy shit with having I'm not crying. I'm wiping my if you're on video, you see me wiping my I got a fucking sweat stash going, dude. I'm in a hoodie. Like it's fucking not hot or not cold out, but I threw a hoodie on just to have it on. And I'm sweating, dude. And it is what it is. What do you want me to tell you? So you're gonna see me wipe my mouth. I'm not wiping my eyes. It's all mouth right here. So, but like having your boys to not only fall back on with just like, I mean, I love my wife. I'll tell my wife anything, but sometimes you just have that moment where you're like, I need a dude. I need a guy's perspective here. And me and Mello were talking about like men's mental health and how he's mostly surrounded by women. And that podcast that he's going to do is going to be with a woman. And like, it just got me thinking like how important it is to have like a one-on-one with a dude sometimes, just because it's just different. You got to have your core group. Like, I'm not saying go join a gang. You want to put together a crew or something, go put together a crew. If you want to join a gang, hit me up. I mean, I'm not gonna really do anything. I'm not like the what could I be? What could I be? I could just be like I'll be like a social media manager, you know? Do gangs have that, dude? Do gangs have that? We could just like I'll just like post like how's everybody doing today? And then we could like throw up our set. That'd be pretty cool. We could have like you know, a set. We could just have like a gif of all of us throwing our little setup. It'd be pretty fun, dude. I'll be that. I'm not trying to, because like you're like, oh, let's go hit a lick. I've been watching this house for 3 months, and this guy goes and walks his dog at this time. I'm just gonna be like, what kind of dogs he got? They're like, yeah, it's not like a big dog. Are you scared? I'm like, no, I'm just kind of interested. I like dogs, dude. What kind of dogs he got? And then they know, like, okay, he's got a soft spot. He's not going to be the guy to do this, but he'll post on our Instagram. He'll post like us posted up at the gas station with the door open. People love that with a nice like caption, just maybe like a little baby lyric. That'd be fun. So if you guys want that, I'm, dude, I'm good for that shit. I don't really leave the house besides work. Maybe I'll go to the gym, but maybe I'll get lunch with somebody. If you guys want to have like a gang lunch, that'd be fun. But let me know if it's in like one of those neighborhoods that you guys been posted up at, because I don't want violence. I don't want ops. I don't want any of that. I just want a brotherhood. That's what I want. It doesn't have to be a gang. It's just a group of fun, cool guys, dude, who maybe some of them do criminal activity and I get paid for it. I get paid for my social media managing. So if you guys want that, ChewinTheRagPod at gmail.com. Send me a gang pitch, and maybe we can make something happen, brothers. And then here's where I would throw up my set when I say make something happen, brothers. But I don't have a set, so we'll just do like a little anime double peace sign thing. I'll cross my eyes like those little Twitter whores. What else, dude? I just fucking rambled on nothing, dude. This is why having a guest is important, because this is what my notebooks honestly, this is what my notebooks look like when I talk about daily pages, dude, my morning pages. And I'm like, oh, I reflect. And it's like, no, you don't, dude. You reflect for 2 pages and then you just fucking ramble for 2 pages and then write one. Like yesterday I wrote grateful. Today I don't even fucking remember what I wrote, but you know what, dude? Who gives a shit? Um, Insanity. This is insanity. Now that you've got a little bit about me, let me go into let me just go into an introduction to me. I think it's pretty important to, because I always talk about like a couple of little things that I do or did or plan on doing. I never really go into detail about why some of those may not have worked out. I probably come off as somebody who just tries a little bit of everything but doesn't stick to anything. And that's just not necessarily true. It is, but it's not. So I'll start like all the way back middle school. I signed up for football. I liked it. Like football's fun. I like suiting up. I like going to practice. What I didn't like is the position they put me in. What I didn't know is that you're never going to fucking stick to one position in middle school or high school and everything. But I came from a household who didn't play any sports. They didn't watch sports. They didn't understand sports. So I was just like the only one in my house who was like, I'm going to go try a sport. And then when it didn't really work out, I didn't have anybody to explain to me the ins and outs of it. It was just kind of like, oh, you're quitting, which wasn't true. It wasn't true at all. My mom always would try to be like, yeah, you give up on things. You tried football, you didn't like it. You didn't like it. You would skip and go to math, whatever the fuck. She's like, you didn't even like math. Like, yeah, dude, if you were failing academics, you couldn't play sports, you asshole. I skipped practice to go to this math tutor because I was failing math. Like, I always had some, and maybe this is a bad thing. I always had like a justification for not going to something or stop going to something or doing something like that. Like for football, my justification was I was failing and in like this spot I was in. So fast forward that to post school in general, I got into MMA, which that was something I won't say that. I actually started getting into MMA in high school or just outside high school. It was that range. I was still a teenager. I want to say it was somewhere between 16 and 18. I would sporadically go to the gym. I mean, I was a big gym goer in high school, but I would sporadically go to like the MMA part of the gym. Um, I saw somebody take a fight. I'm not going to say their name, not going to out anybody. I saw somebody take a fight and lose or should have lost. They won on like, it was like a loophole. I think it should have been a disqualification or a no contest. They threw an elbow and their opponent got hit with it. And you're not supposed to elbow in amateur MMA. That's what it was. So, in my opinion, this person came out. They looked sloppy. They were like just coming out, arms straight out like fucking Frankenstein. They didn't want to engage. They didn't want to punch or anything. And yet they still won. And I was like, well, fuck, I could do that. And so I signed up for an MMA fight as an independent. I wasn't training anywhere. I was like 245 pounds and I agreed to fight at 205, which meant for somebody who's never cut weight before, I had to lose 40 pounds. It was around like 40, 50 pounds in April, April, May, June, July. It was like 3 months. I had to lose like 50 pounds in 3 or 4 months. And like I said, I didn't know anything about cutting weight. I was a big MMA fan. I knew that you had to cut weight, but I didn't know how to do it. So I just lost the fucking weight and just weighed in natural 204. My opponent was built like a fucking neo-Nazi action figure. He's just this super shredded dude, fucking all muscle, patted me on my back. It hurt. It hurt. He hugged me at weigh-ins and he slept. I told this story on Dangerously Average Dudes, but pretty much I drove out 5 hours. It was in Rochester. It was like closer to 4 hours, but drove out there to fight a guy who's been training, had like a really good gym out there, and I had nothing. I was literally just going with the confidence that I watched somebody who wasn't very good barely win a fight that they shouldn't have won. And I was like, oh, well, I can do that. That's fine. And no, you can't do that. It's not fine. It's awful. You're not going to get a guy that you can randomly elbow and win on a fucking some loophole bullshit. Sometimes you're going to fight John Parker, who, if you go to youtube.com and you search Chris Pickett versus John Parker, it's like a 3.5, 4 minute video, I think. Lost in 26 seconds. The intro and outro of that video are really unnecessary, but this guy who fucking did it was like, I can't just post. This is a fucking Instagram reel. Now, had TikTok blown up back then, it would be fine. There'd just be a TikTok clip, but nope. Nope. So this guy had to put a whole intro, a whole outro, get a nice video that he edited, did his job, and he was like, well, all this for this guy to lose in 26 seconds. So after that, I started training at Garage with Justin Schoenborn. Justin, is it Schoenborn? I don't know, dude, but Garage MMA. Really good dude. And I started training there. I was never planning to take another fight. It was just like, let me actually train and just get in shape because I just got my ass whooped. Maybe I should learn how to actually do something. So it was really just like a way to get in shape, keep my weight in check. It's always good to learn something. You know, if an average person comes at me on the street, I could drop them on their head. But that's good to know. So, and then as it goes, I accepted a fight and I lost. I lost. It wasn't the first round again, but I lost because of me this time, as I talked about with Lenny. So now I can kind of dive into what me and Lenny breezed over. I took another fight and the game plan won. He was a bigger guy. The game plan was to just get him against the fence because he has no range against the fence. If you get him against the cage, you can tee off on him. That's where you want to be. You're the smaller guy. So I was like, okay, cool. Take the fight, open up with a leg kick, grab him, get him against the fence. And he's big, but he's like big for nothing. I'm way stronger than this dude. So in my head, I'm like, now I'm cocky. So I'm fucking like, no, we're not doing this. I stayed on him. If I really wanted to go the route that I was mentally prepared to go, I should have just let go of him and just went back to the center of the octagon. That's the center of the cage, rather. That's what I should have done. But what I did instead was I hugged him and I started walking backwards, like, you're coming with me, you big fucking ogre. And my heel dug into the canvas. My heel dug into the floor and I fell backwards and he ended up on top of me. Now, this wouldn't be a big deal, but like I said, he's just bigger than me. So he has all this leverage. I didn't really know too much about jiu-jitsu or grappling, which, fun fact, if you're going to take an MMA fight, maybe know a little bit more about jiu-jitsu and grappling. I knew just enough where I thought I knew just enough to scrape by, and I didn't know shit because this guy got on top of me and it did not hurt. He was fine. He was raining down punches. I was good. And that's when I heard those dudes yelling like get up, and I'm like, I can't even hear my coach, dude. I just hear my fucking ignorant ass friends. So I ended up losing that, and I wasn't ever gonna end. I hate to end on an MMA loss. I did two like small kickboxing exhibitions after that, and then I just kind of got away from it. It's not like, oh, he lost so he gave up, or he gave up because he sucks. Because no, I still went to the gym. I still trained. I even as of like now, I still pop in occasionally. It's just not, I don't really have the desire anymore to go in and grind, and like you have to want to get punched in the face to go do that shit. And like I don't all the time. Maybe on a random Saturday I'll say like who wants to spar, but I don't want to have to go bust my ass and just haul ass to the gym and grind and then go to work sore. Like I've done that. So it's not that I've given up on that sport. It's just I've given up on the desire to compete and do shit like that. I'll still, like I said, I'll still pop in the gym. Um, I don't really go to fights. I don't really go to shows even, which is a whole nother thing that a lot of people don't know is I did like a small, I talked about this with Lenny. I did a small stint in like a, I guess we were a hardcore band. I don't really know. We just sucked. And that was something where just when you have four people, you have to kind of be on the same page. Like MMA, you're kind of by yourself. You got to listen to your coach. You have a team. Like I have teammates. I have somebody fighting this weekend that trains with Justin still, but I don't have to agree with everybody. When you're in a band, if you have 4 or 5 guys and you don't agree, you're just asking for it's all bad. So I was in a shitty local band called the Astral Plane, and I just wanted to kind of play shows. I didn't give a fuck about like, let's sit down, let's write, and let's like, record and let's get this out there. And it's like, I was just like, we have 5 shitty songs that we could just go play and just be like that band. We could just be like the shitty opener all the time. I'm fine. I'm fine with being the shitty opener. I'm cool with it. Like, we moved tickets. We did fine. Like, why don't we just do that? And I was wrong. 100% I was wrong. Like these guys, but I was right to me. It was just like I was wrong for what that project was supposed to be. We were supposed to actually give a shit. And for me, it was just like a party. Like I'm like, nah, I'm just here for like this right here. Like this is the peak for me. You guys want to be up here? I'm peaking right here. So that was another little stint in my life where it seems like I gave up, but I'll fucking dude, you want me to throw down vocals right now, dude? You want me to fucking throw down vocals right now, dude? I'm not doing that. I'm kidding. But hit me up. Hit me up, dude. I still got it. I still got pipes, dude. This fucking throat right here, baby. I'm the throat goat, dude. So you let me know. And then now we get into comedy. Comedy was probably the most fun of all the things that I tried and failed. um yeah, no, the comedy was definitely the most fun. It was the most enjoyable. There's nothing like driving 3 hours to do a fucking open mic for 2 people. That's so fun. It's the most fun. There's also nothing like thinking that you have a show and promoting it as a show. It's not, dude. It's a bringer. Relax. If you don't show up with 6 people, you're not getting on stage. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to go to open mics and perform strictly in front of other stand-ups and hope to make them laugh despite them not giving a shit about anything you're saying up there. It's a lot of fun, dude. I promise. It is. It is a lot of fun. Casey and we started up a mic and co-host shortly after doing comedy. And really, despite one show, they were pretty successful as far as producing a local fucking comedy show and co-host at a bar that seats fucking 30 people. They were pretty successful and they were pretty fun. And I still am in contact with, people who obviously are still in it and they were in it before I came and they were in it after I left. So I met some cool people through it. The only thing, and I've talked about this, the only thing that's stopping me from writing jokes, going out and going on stage, it's a late man's game, baby. And I am not a late man. I have a son now. I don't want to be out fucking I don't want to be out of my house at 8 p.m. If it's 8 p.m. and I'm not letting my dogs out, I don't want to be outside. Excuse me. I do not want to be outside. By 8 p.m., I want to be home and just vibing. And with comedy, you're not even signing up for an open mic at 8 p.m. And if you are, you're not getting on stage until at least 9 p.m. And then you're not getting home until at least 11 p.m. And then you got to wake up for work at 5 a.m. And it's like, I just don't have that desire anymore um to do that. I like telling jokes and I like being funny, and that's what led me to this. And like with this, with Dangerously Average Dudes slowing down, it was like, fuck, is this just gonna be another one of those things where Chris Pickett started something and now it's not happening? And it's like, no, no, fuck that. So that's why Chewin The Rag came, and I did it more for like just to show like I'm not that dude. I know I come off as just like for a lot of people, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier, where it's like I don't really have that tight group. A lot of people just know me on like social media. Like realistically, I stopped going to shows. I don't really hang out with people. I don't go to comedy shows. I don't go to hardcore shows. I don't go see bands. I'm not going to your fucking house party. I'm not going to your gathering. Like you guys really just see me through social media, which is cool. I'm fine with that. I have it set up that way for a fucking reason. Like I just keep to myself and I do my own thing. I honestly probably come off as somebody in like witness protection because I always know what's going on, but I'm never at these fucking places. It's just like, dude, how did you know I fought so and so? Or how did you know I got in trouble doing so and so? It's like, don't worry about it, dude. I just know people. I'm fucking everywhere. But I set it up that way where it's like I just keep to myself, dude. But I still fuck with everybody. And I mean people seem to fuck with me, so I'm cool with that. I just like to be here. I enjoy time with my wife. I enjoy time with my son. I enjoy content. Obviously, like the streaming thing, I'm gonna start doing that more. I'm trying to keep this going as best I can, and not every episode's gonna be a banger. This one probably fucking dragged. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I were listening to this and I was this far in, I'd be like, holy shit, dude. But it is what it is, baby. The guests have been really good. I actually really appreciate shout out fucking JD, Lenny, Seto, Mark. Seto is Mark. I'm just he's Mark to me, goddamn it. To you motherfuckers, he's Seto because he's a TikToker. Yeah, but shout Lenny, Mark, JD, Mello, Chris when he comes on, the other Chris when he comes on, there's fucking two of them. Um, I don't know if he wants me advertising this, but I have an agreement, a verbal agreement for Tyrone Crawford, previous Dallas Cowboys player. I have a verbal agreement for him to come on. So like, I mean, everything's looking good. John Dorn from Concrete. I had Lenny on from Concrete before the recording. I'm gonna have John on after everything wraps up so that he can come on and kind of promote things. And I really do appreciate everybody for coming on and people for listening. It has been a lot of fucking fun. Sometimes you're gonna get something like this where it's just me getting all my thoughts out at once, but it's a good way to introduce myself. I have all these backstories on, football or MMA or fucking I brought up the band, I brought up fucking stand up, and it's like, dude, how many things what how many things have you stopped or started and then stopped? Like you gotta so it's cool for me to come on here and be able to be like, let me break down each thing for you. Real estate's different. I sold one house and got the fuck out of there. That was just not for me. I ain't gonna lie to you there. Shout out Ryan Clark, but nah, baby, I could not. I appreciate everything you tried to do for me. I appreciate you were super fucking helpful and I had fun, but that shit was just not for me. That is one I definitely just kind of stopped showing up and kind of quit. And he actually helped a lot, even with that decision. Ryan did. He was like, "Yo, why don't you come in and let's figure this something out? Because I don't think this is for you." And He was absolutely right. I don't think it was for me either. uh, if you guys made it this far, we are at the end. I'm going to answer 3 questions that were submitted, and they were all pretty fucking fun. I haven't thought about them. I just read them and posted them because I want to give a real honest answer off the top. So, question number 1. If myself, MK, and Theo could trade lives with one celebrity family, who do I think it would be? I'll tell you who it wouldn't be. It's not going to be the Smith family. I am not going to have Jada Pinkett. I'm not going to have my dad up there slapping people. Nah. Nope. I'll tell you who it's not going to be. My mom out there banging my friends or whatever the fuck. Well, I guess it would be MK. It'd be my wife. No. Yeah, no, no. None of the Smiths. I'll tell you, no. I guess it would be like Ryan Reynolds and like Blake Lively and their kids. Like they just seem like they have a fun, keep to themselves relationship. Like they're always joking on social media, which is my whole fucking thing. So I guess them, if I had to change, I wouldn't change, but if I had to answer the question honestly, probably be them. They seem like the most normal yet in the spotlight fucking family. If you were going to be executed and they asked you what one thing you would want to eat as your last meal, what would it be? My wife, dude. What do you want? What are you on about? Get the anything? I never. Can you do that? Can I just be like, let me get my missus? That's what I want, dude. If they're like, yeah, it's got to be food. I'd be like, I don't, bro. It'd probably be like, you don't want anything too extra. I know, like people are like, oh, you got to get your favorite, your cereal or your fucking steak, your cereal. My answer is cereal. That's why it slipped. You know what? I'm not explaining it. I would just ask for like a bowl of Fruity Pebbles. You know why, dude? Because me and my son share Fruity Pebbles, and it would remind me of him, and that would be pretty cool to have as my last meal. Because he likes cereal, like sugary cereals, and I don't give him a full bowl, but I get my own bowl, and he gets a couple bites, and that would be my last memory while eating that, and bang, end me, dude. And how am I getting executed? Are they bringing me out back? Because I think that's what I would want. I'm not trying to get electric. I know they're probably gonna electrocute me just because I don't want that. Don't do that, dude. Just fucking boom. Just back of the head. Do me in. Do a couple shots. Make sure that shit really ends me and call it a day. I don't want to be injected. I don't want to fall asleep. I don't want to be zapped. I just want give me that fucking on your knees, bitch. Bang, bang, bang. Back of the head, dude. That's how I want it. If you could wish one bad deed upon your worst enemy, but it's only an inconvenience, not damaging, what would it be? So you can't wish any like physical harm, just kind of minor inconvenience. Dude, you know what I would do? Anytime they have their hands full, the first time they hit a doorknob, a handle to a car door, anything, it's going to be locked. Even if they just unlocked it, say he's got a hands full of groceries, dude, both hands, 12 bags, 6 in each arm, and he's got a case of Gatorade. He knows his door's unlocked. He left it unlocked for that reason. He knew he had a big haul, and he fucking reaches for the doorknob and it doesn't, dude. That drives me insane. My car locks itself, and every Friday I pick up like pizza for work. It fucking drives me insane knowing that I'm gonna unlock my car door, grab these 3 or 4 fucking pizzas, sometimes 5 or 6, carry them, and I then have to make sure my keys are in my hand because the car door is going to lock itself. And if that were to happen to my worst enemy every time he had his hands full, dude, honestly, his hands don't even have to be full. His hands don't have to be full because it's annoying regardless, but it's just so much fucking better knowing that his hands are full or her hands. I don't really have a worst enemy, so it could be a woman, it could be a they, them. I don't care, dude. Whoever it is, that's what I want. I want every time they touch a doorknob, a door handle, anything that opens and shuts, I want it to be locked the first time they do it. And they have to unlock it no matter what. I don't give a fuck if they're going to work and they just hit their boop, boop, and the car unlocks. They get to that thing. I don't care if it's a step away, dude. It's locked every single time. That's what I want. Fuck that person. I don't know who you are, dude. I don't know why we're beefing. I don't know why you're an op. I don't know why you're my worst enemy and I got to wish one bad deed upon you. But fuck you, dude. I'm glad that everything you touch, Windows too. Windows too. You want fresh air? You just unlocked your windows because you're in a bad neighborhood, but you want to get some air. You unlocked it. You go to open it. They're locked again, bitch. Have fun unlocking it, you fucking scumbag. You shouldn't have done whatever it was that made me hate you and made you my worst enemy, dude. Piece of shit. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for checking out Chewin The Rag. If you liked the episode, make sure you follow. We're on Instagram at Chewin The Rag, Facebook.com/Chewin The Rag, YouTube.com at CTR Pod. So YouTube.com/CTR Pod. Pinchworm Gaming on YouTube. Make sure you like, follow, rate, subscribe. It's very easy. Helps me out. My listeners are going up, but everything else is kind of staying stagnant. So I know that people are listening. Maybe you don't fuck with the boy. Maybe you're just lazy like me. I mean, I have a lot that I listen to, but I'm not really subscribed to. I'm going to be better because I know it helps them out, and it'll help me out. If you guys have questions, they don't have to be like that. They could be serious. They could be funny. Email ChewinTheRagPod@gmail.com. And shouts again to Serenity Landscaping Services. See you guys next week, baby.